Welcome, guys, for another Gamebug review. This time I'm going to be talking about the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, both 1 and 2 in this review. Now, with compilations, it's a bit weird because, I could spend forever talking about each single one of these games. But these games, especially the PlayStation 1 and the SNES ones, have been out for like 2 decades. And they've all been reviewed countless times. They've been on compilations before. So instead of reviewing them one by one, I'm just going to review the entire package. So I will give some breakdown here. So the Legacy Collection 1 has Mega Man X 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you've got all the bonuses. And then also for the Legacy Collection 2, you've got X 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then a host of bonuses. So started off, so I'm not going to go into concept and breaking it down each one of them, but the general theme is you basically are a robot bounty hunter, basically. You're sent out to take out robots that have sort of gone on the fritz and are basically a danger to society. And so you've got to take down these hunters. There's basically robot masters, I think they call them, or I'm pretty sure it's robot masters. And basically they've been corrupted and they've gone rogue, and so they were once good and then now they're bad. So Mega Man's job is to basically go out there and kick their ass and save the planet. And if you've never played a Mega Man game or a Mega Man X game, you tackle a boss in any order that you choose. And then basically when you defeat that boss, you gain their power. And then once gaining that power, you can then use that to exploit a weakness of another boss. And you keep going and so on and so forth. So when you think about getting these collections, if you're thinking, okay, well, maybe I might get both, maybe I might get 1, maybe I might get 2. I will say that from my personal opinion, the Mega Man Legacy Collection number 1, which has X 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's the one that I would recommend, especially if you've never played any of these games. This is where it started. A lot of fans will say these 4 are the better ones out of all of them. I mean, some might say that they really like 6, Mega Man X6. Some might say they might like Mega Man X8. All pretty good games, except for X7. I'm just going to say that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, I think, are fantastic games. So Legacy Collection 1 is just an amazing package of 4 amazing games. And then Legacy Collection 2, 5, 6, they're pretty damn good. 7, terrible. I don't recommend it. It's slow. It's completely different. It's the first time Mega Man X series went into an all 3D type of style of game instead of being, a 2D side scroller, and then in the later edition for X8, a 2.5D. But 7 was, just a full 3D action game, and it kind of sucks. Let's be honest. It kind of sucks. X8 I don't mind. A lot of people don't like X8. I don't mind that. I think it's fast-paced. It's similar to the originals with a little bit enough to sort of differentiate it. But yeah, if I was to suggest one of the collections, I would say get the first one. But if you do get both, like this review is all about, is both of them, you're only really going to skip maybe X7. So I would definitely recommend just getting both. So what makes this collection great, apart from a lot of collections of games, is you have a museum mode. Now, the museum mode's got galleries for all different types of images for every single game. So it'll split them all up. Here's some photos of all the bosses. Here's some photos for concept art, just for every single one of these games. And you're probably looking at about like anywhere between, 100 pictures to even 120, sometimes maybe only 70, but a lot of pictures in really great quality. You've got a music player, so you can listen to every single tune from every single one of the games in full. There's a product gallery, which shows you all the different toys and figurines and merchandise that came out around Mega Man X. You've also got the trailers that were aired for the original games. And you've also got the day of, I don't even know what that thing is. It's it looks like an E, but it's kind of stylized. I don't know what that is, but it's a basically a video showing the start of it's like the prequel to Mega Man X, the series. It's a little cutscene, little short video, and it's actually quite enjoyable, and it gives you some backstory as to what the game is all about. Now, I am freeballing this, so I'm just sort of going as I come along, because there's a lot to, if I wrote it all down, there would be a lot to talk about. So I'm trying to breeze through and, give you the information you need without just going too overboard, because I don't want to bore you too much. Well, what I will say though, is there is a new mode called X Challenge. And what that does, just to make it even harder, because these games are pretty hard as it is, X Challenge pits you not against one, but two bosses. So you might be fighting two bosses from two totally different Mega Man X games at the one time, and you can choose between 3 weapons that you want to select to take them on. So it's a really crazy challenge. Unfortunately, it's pretty similar between the two, so you'll be doing the same challenges in the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and in 2, but they're both great fun. They're really, they're a challenge, and they really are challenging. So apart from that, you can actually select if you want to play these games in Collection 1 between the American language or the Japanese language. I don't know if there's any differences. I haven't noticed any. I did a quick playthrough of the first initial level on a bunch of them. I didn't really notice any difference. A great benefit for the Legacy Collection too is you can actually play it in English, French, German, Italian, like a bunch of different languages. So that's always good. If you're showing a friend who might speak another language, it's always fun. And probably my favorite thing in this, because as much as I love these games, there came a point where I'd get to the last boss and I'd just get annihilated. And sometimes it became really frustrating and really hard. So they have Rookie Hunter mode, which is basically like their easy mode for these games. And you can apply this Rookie Hunter mode to every single one of the 8 titles. And for me, it just helps, going through some of these games that I've played before but never got to finish. I mean, I could spend the time and, play them through and try. But I've been playing these games on the Super Nintendo. So the first 3 were on the Super Nintendo, and I played those all, rented from the video shop, loved them, but I could never finish them. So going back now, I've done the first 8 bosses over and over and over. So at least now, was there 8? 1, 2, 3. Yes, there is 8 bosses. I just had to count in my head. But going through, I can actually say, now I can just get straight to the end and finish it and see what happened at the end. Some of the titles like Mega Man X4, I only played a little bit at a friend's place. That was the first one on the PS1. And then in Collection 2, you've got X5, X6, X7, and 8. So X5 and X6, I believe, were on the PlayStation 1. I never actually got a chance to play those, so it was good fun to try those ones out. And X7 and X8 were PS2. I don't remember ever playing X7, so when I played that, I was in for a shock. I did play a little bit of X8, and I actually enjoy X8, which, as I said before, a lot of people don't, but I thought it was kind of cool. So in terms of concept, they all follow a similar theme. Obviously, there's minimal dialogue in the original Super Nintendo games, and then as you went to the PlayStation era, more dialogues. You had cutscenes, especially in X8. You've got a fair bit of animated cutscenes, which actually are really cool, and it helps flesh out the story, and I really enjoy it. What else can I say about these games? I mean, X2 and X1, 2, and 3 are probably the best. The original SNES trilogy are probably the most true to form. That's what people remember. That's what people enjoyed playing. And they look great. There's great filter options. You can play them in widescreen, which stretches the image and it looks a bit weird, so I wouldn't recommend that. You can play it in pixel perfect mode, which sort of gets that screen size to be perfect to sort of give it the cleanest look it has. And you can put on a nice soft filter that sort of smooths out the edges, which surprisingly looks really good, and I haven't had a need to turn it off. Sometimes with these smoothing options, it kind of gets a bit overboard and it just looks blurry. This one actually looks pretty good. You can also do a CRT mode. So, lots of different options. Even the PlayStation 2 games look really crisp. So it's not just like they've just taken a crappy image and chucked it on a collection. They've really done the work to clean these up. You got some nice borders you can choose from. Just a lot of love and care put into these collections, and I really appreciate that, especially because the original Mega Man Legacy Collection, not to be confused with the X Collection, those ones were sort of just bare bones. They didn't really have much in the way of extras, and so I really appreciate that they put in the extra effort for these ones. I will say the music in every single game is fantastic. Gameplay is great. It's fast-paced. It's action-heavy. They're difficult. It's also good trying to play it on Rookie Hunter mode if it's too hard, and then if you beat that, then you can go back and replay it at the normal difficulty. A game like X8 actually had easy mode, normal mode, and hard mode, and then you can put the Rookie Hunter mode on top of that and select easy mode, so it's super easy for beginners. That one you actually got to switch between 3 characters. You had X, Zero, and Axel. The original 3, I believe, is just X. X4, you get to select Zero, who is just a badass, and he looks amazing. There's a host of collectibles to find, different moves for X, different armor sets. There's always a reason to go back to levels to find hidden collectibles to get, extra tanks that help you with extra health, extra hearts that actually extend your life meter. Just so much things to do in these games, and considering like they're all pretty lengthy, even the Super Nintendo ones. So you're really getting a good package, even if you just buy one of the collections. There's a lot of meat to these collections. So normally we say about graphics, and I mean, we've got different generations. I think the PS1 versions, I say they hold up pretty well still. A lot of people don't like the sort of art style for those ones, as it changed it up a little bit. But I'm pretty sure like everyone would agree that every single one of these games looks pretty damn good, and it looks like the care was put into all of them. As I said, the music's fantastic in all of them. Gameplay is great except for X7. X7 sucks. The voice acting as well in X7 sucks. So sound, graphics, gameplay, all amazing. I think the awesomeness section for this, we normally do the awesomeness section for something that stands out about these games. And for example, this one, it's a compilation. So what stands out about this compilation is just the amount of detail that they've put in, amount of care, the extras in there. It's just, it's more than just putting the games as they were onto a disc. They're really giving you more for your money, or more bang for your buck, as you would say. So I really appreciate that, and especially being able to play this on a Switch, that's always great. Now, I've been playing it on the PS4, but these games, from what I've seen, run perfectly on the Switch as well. So this review is for PS4, but if you get a chance, I would recommend getting it on the Switch if you've got one. Because you can sort of tackle a boss one by one. Now, they used to rely on a password system back in the day, but now you can actually just save it directly to your memory card, or your onboard memory. So it's great. You just want to tackle one boss on the train, save it, jump back in on your lunch break or whatever you want to do. It's always great having that portable option when you're playing it on the Switch. It's just a great collection all around. I was really surprised, and I'm really happy. What I do kind of like, this is a weird complaint to have. I kind of thought that they might separate them instead of releasing them both at once, just because you might get a bit of Mega Man fatigue if you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then by the time you get to 8, it's a lot of Mega Man. So I thought that they might have spaced the two collections out a bit. But other than that, no complaints, all fantastic games. I mean, if I rated Mega Man X alone, just the first one, I would have given it a 5 out of 5. So I can't really fault the collection based on one game being terrible. As a collection on its own, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 because the great games on here outshine any of the bad entries or any of the ones that were not as good. I just think it's a fantastic compilation, and I think everyone should play this, whether you've played Mega Man or you've never played Mega Man. I understand people who don't like the original Mega Man because they're tough and they just don't feel. This is a hard thing to say. They just don't feel modern enough. So if you didn't grow up playing the NES, you're going to have a difficult time with them. Whereas Mega Man X is a bit more forgiving, a bit more fast-paced, and, you know, just a bit more modern. So I definitely recommend everyone pick this up. And thanks for listening, and hopefully you like the footage. And please like and subscribe if you like these videos. And also, we should have our website hopefully back up by next week. So thanks for holding out, and stick around, guys. Bye.